Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you work, your money seems to stretch less and less? As adults, we love using complicated words like inflation, quantitative easing, or speculative bubbles to explain it. But the truth is that the money game is much simpler, so simple in fact that even a monkey could understand it, or fall into the trap. Today I'm going to tell you the story of the monkey's bag and the magic cloud leaves. It seems like a children's story, but I assure you that by the end you will see your bank account reflected. Listen closely.
Once upon a time, high up in the great green jungle, there was a spider monkey named Meeko. Meeko wasn't the biggest monkey, nor the strongest, but he was very hard-working. His biggest dream was to buy a safe cave in the millennial tree before the rainy season arrived. To achieve this, Meeko collected macadamia nuts. They were hard, difficult to crack, but they lasted forever, and everyone in the jungle knew that one nut equaled a good plate of food. One morning, the jungle market was turned upside down. Meeko was carrying his heavy bag of nuts when he heard the excited screeches of his best friend, Lolo the monkey.
Meeko! Meeko!
Lolo yelled, swinging from a vine, wearing sunglasses made of coconut shells.
You're so old-fashioned. Are you still carrying those heavy, dirty nuts?
Of course, Lolo,
replied Meeko, confused, hugging his bag.
these are my savings. With 100 of these, Mr. Bear will sell me the cave in the millennial tree.
Ha! Mr. Bear is a dinosaur!
Laughed Lolo, landing next to him.
Look at this!
Lolo opened his hand and showed Meeko 3 crisp leaves of a bright blue color. They seemed to glow in the sunlight.
What is that? Can you eat it?
Asked Meeko, sniffing them.
Of course you don't eat them, silly! They are magic cloud leaves. The great silverback gorilla, the boss of the jungle, brought them yesterday from the high mountain. He said carrying nuts is a thing of the past. Now, the jungle is modern. One of these leaves is worth the same as 10 of your nuts. And the best part, they are light.
Meeko frowned.
But why are they worth 10 nuts if they are good for nothing?
Because the great gorilla says so, and because everyone wants them. Yesterday, 1 leaf was worth 5 nuts. Today it's worth 10. Tomorrow, it will be worth 20. Cloud leaves only go up. Meeko, to the moon!
Suddenly, a very noisy macaw with phosphorescent feathers landed in the market. It was Paco, the most popular bird in the jungle.
Attention, animals!
Squawked Paco at the top of his lungs.
I just traded my cloud leaves for 2 premium vines and a bunch of imported bananas. If you don't have cloud leaves, you're missing out on the jungle party. Don't be poor. Buy leaves.
Meeko looked around. All the animals, from the leopards to the tapirs, were running towards the great gorilla's cave, handing over their heavy and nutritious nuts in exchange for those blue leaves. Meeko's heart began to beat very fast. His hands were sweating. What if Lolo was right? What if he was left behind? The fear of missing the opportunity to be rich was eating him up inside. Determined, Meeko walked towards the gorilla's cave. But halfway there, he tripped over a root, and his nuts rolled across the ground.
Careful, young man,
Said a raspy, slow voice. It was Mrs. Turtle. She was over 100 years old and had a shell full of scars. She was sitting quietly, chewing on a plain green leaf, while dragging towards her cave a huge sack full of macadamia nuts.
Sorry, Mrs. Turtle,
said Miko, gathering his nuts.
Hey, why are you collecting nuts? Don't you know the new trend is magic cloud leaves? You could get rich.
The turtle let out a slow, deep laugh.
Oh, Miko, I've seen many magic leaves in my 100 years. Shiny stones, weird feathers, painted sticks. Tell me one thing. Where does the great gorilla get those blue leaves from?
He says from a special tree on the high mountain,
replied Miko.
Exactly. And what happens if tomorrow he discovers 3 more trees? Or 10?
Mrs. Turtle leaned closer to Miko and lowered her voice.
The gorilla is keeping all the real nuts. The food that actually takes away hunger and takes work to gather. And in exchange, he is giving you leaves that he rips off the trees for free. Tell me, Miko, who is truly getting rich here?
Miko froze. He looked at his macadamia nut, hard, heavy, real. Then he looked at Lolo in the distance, who was now dancing with a wad of blue leaves, showing off his illusory wealth.
But Mrs. Turtle, Mr. Bear's cave now costs 500 blue leaves. My 100 nuts aren't enough anymore,
said Miko, feeling desperate.
Patience, little one. Value and price are not the same thing. Save your nuts. Winter always comes,
said the turtle, and she slowly walked away towards her massive vault of food. Miko decided to be brave and not follow the herd. He kept his nuts. Over the next 2 weeks, he was the laughingstock of the jungle. Paco the macaw made fun of him, and Lolo called him a coward. The cloud leaves reached a value of 50 nuts each. The madness was absolute. The animals stopped gathering food. They only dedicated themselves to trading leaves with each other. Until autumn arrived. And with autumn came the strong winds. One morning, the great silverback gorilla, seeing that everyone wanted more leaves, decided to shake the tree on the high mountain with all his might. Millions of blue leaves fell over the jungle. There were leaves everywhere. They covered the ground, the rivers, and the branches. At first, the animals celebrated. They were millionaires. But when Lolo went to buy bananas from Mrs. Iguana with 100 new leaves, the iguana glared at him.
I don't want that,
said the iguana.
I have my cave flooded with those leaves. They are useless to me and I'm hungry. If you want my bananas, give me macadamia nuts.
Lolo turned pale. He ran to the market. Nobody wanted the leaves because there were so many. They were no longer worth anything. And worst of all, since no one had worked in weeks, there was no food in the jungle. The wind blew hard and blew away the magic leaves, leaving the animals empty-handed. Paco, the macaw, had pawned even his feathers and was now shivering with cold. Lolo cried inconsolably because he had given all his nuts to the gorilla, who was now very fat and sheltering in his cave. Miko, on the other hand, opened his bag. His 100 nuts were still there, and since no one in the whole jungle had real food, his nuts were now worth more than ever. He walked towards Mr. Bear's cave.
Mr. Bear, are you still selling the cave in the millennial tree?
Asked Miko. The bear, starving, saw the nuts shining, and his mouth watered.
Of course, Miko. And since you have real nuts, I'll let you have it for 80. It's a deal.
Miko got his safe cave. He invited Lolo to spend the winter with him, teaching him that hard work And real value can never be replaced by promises that the wind blows away. Moral: true wealth is not measured by what is trendy or what everyone chases, but by the real and useful value of what you possess. Easy illusions can fly away with the wind, but honest work and real goods build shelters that withstand any storm.
What we just heard isn't only the story of a clever monkey, it is an exact X-ray of how the global financial system works and how smart money operates against retail investors. Let's break it down step by step. Fiat money versus tangible assets, hard assets. Macadamia nuts represent sound money, capital with intrinsic value, like gold, real estate, or raw materials. It takes work to extract them, proof of work, and they have real utility. The magic cloud leaves represent fiduciary fiat currency. They have no intrinsic value. They are only worth something because a central authority, the great gorilla/central bank, says they are, and because society accepts that illusion out of pure trust. Quantitative easing, QE, and inflation. When the great gorilla decides to shake the tree and issue millions of new leaves, we are seeing extreme expansionary monetary policy, printing money. By flooding the market with new liquidity, the purchasing power of each individual leaf plummets. This is inflation. More currency units chasing the same or fewer amount of real goods, the iguana's bananas. Speculative bubbles and FOMO. Lolo and Paco, the macaw, represent the retail investor caught up in FOMO, fear of missing out. They buy an asset not because they understand its value, but because the price is rising, driven by collective hysteria. The macaw acts like social media finfluencers, promoting irrational euphoria to the moon without solid fundamentals. Smart money. Mrs. Turtle is the perfect archetype of institutional capital or highly financially educated investors. She does not get carried away by the noise. She understands the crucial difference between price, what you pay in leaves, and value, what you get nuts/food. While the masses speculate in the bubble, smart money quietly distributes its inflated assets and accumulates real assets at a low cost before the bubble bursts. The wealth transfer. At the end of the story, the gorilla and the turtle ended up with the real wealth, the nuts, while the working class, Lolo Paco, was left with worthless paper. Any economic crisis or burst bubble does not destroy wealth. It simply transfers it from the impatient to the patient. Miko's story leaves us with an uncomfortable but necessary truth about our personal finances and current macroeconomics. The system is designed for you to exchange your vital time and effort, your nuts, for promises printed on paper, the leaves. Don't be dazzled by speculative trends or market noise. When it comes to protecting your wealth, act like Miko and Mrs. Turtle. Focus on accumulating assets with intrinsic value. Understand how the decisions of the central bank gorillas affect your purchasing power. And remember that in the cycle of the markets, the financial winter always arrives. The question is, will you have nuts in your bag or a handful of leaves that the wind will blow away? Now that you know the secret of the great green jungle, it's your turn to participate. Let's do an exercise in financial honesty in the comments and see who is who in this community. Answer these two questions down below. Question 1. Have you ever been like Lolo and fallen for the FOMO, buying cloud leaves? It could be that shady cryptocurrency, a meme stock, or an impulse buy. Don't worry, we've all been Lolo at some point. Tell us your story. Question 2. In your real life today, what are your macadamia nuts? In what real assets or skills are you sheltering your time and hard-earned money? Special rule. Type the phrase, "I am a turtle," at the beginning of your comment if you are already investing in real long-term value, or type I Am Miko if you are just starting your financial awakening and saving your first nuts. I'll be reading, debating with you, and giving a heart to the best stories in the comments. See you in the next video.